Near is a copycat L, Near is a bland character, Near had impossible shoes to fill. If you've heard these statements, then you're more familiar with Near from Death Note and the hate he gets. But you've got to understand something, Near is legit made to be bland. His character is all about not being a social human being. He is a secluded person who wants nothing but to win the game. He doesn't believe in any justice, as there is no point. This is shown when he states in the final battle with Light that if a god were to exist, and he had his teaching before him, he would still question it himself. This shows Near's character, as he is no idealist like Light Yagami. And as many people like to point out when discussing Near, is that he caught Light so easy, that it seemed more like a cop-out than true deductive ability and intelligence. Well, here's the thing, Near is all about taking both L and Mello's knowledge to beat Kira. His story is all about the succession of becoming the new L. He had the help and all he did was use the tools at his disposal to win. So it's obvious how Near got Light. But the real problem of this discussion is that this is because the anime cut out roughly most of the last half of the Death Note manga. Basically, the Near arc in the anime is pretty short and the manga has more detail. One example of this is Light seems less dumb in the manga's last half, and Mello and Near's general pacing is better. And that way we saw more of them and got to see their thought processes and characteristics. So when we wonder why Near gets this hate, this is why. Now even with the anime and manga's differences, there's still some credit to Near. Near's detective planning, you could say, are similar to L's. They both sit back, calm and calculate the situation. Well, it's not really the case. As you've seen in Death Note, L is actually an aggressive detective and not a chairman detective, as we saw him confront Light and go to Light's school. And if that's not enough, in the BB murder case novel, they also state the same fact. So actually, Near is the opposite and isn't as aggressive, as everything about Near is letting everything fall into place. In reality, not linked to L at all, he actually acts as a contrast to Mello, but basically, Mello is the aggression, rash decision making, and lets emotion get in the way. And everything he did, no matter how hard he tried, let Near's plans go the way he wanted. If Mello got onto Light and did some crazy stuff, Near would take that as an advantage. Mello admits right up that Near's clear head gives him the edge, as it's been shown that clear heads in general, and in Death Note, help someone figure out / solve things, like when Light lost his memories and was able to get ahead of L in the Yosuba arc, where L was depressed and Light was mind-wiped and wanted to solve the case. But this doesn't mean Near is smarter than L, as L has greater feats and experience compared to Near. Here's the thing though, Near is not like L in terms of his battle with Light Yagami. Let me explain. L and Light both had a cat and mouse type of chase, because of how similar they were, and the battle of intellect and other things were because of their ego. L kept massaging Light's ego as being a god, and putting him as an enemy of his on public live television. But the difference is, Near doesn't have an ego. As I said at the start, he just wants to win the game. He never wanted Light's defeat to be a big news broadcast to rub salt into dead wounds. All he wanted was Kira to fade into obscurity. And this is perfectly shown in the Near line of Light being just a crazy murderer and no god. He doesn't even care about publicity. He doesn't care about being better than L. He legit admits straight up that he isn't better than L. He isn't even better than Light. We saw Near make quick judgments on his intellect, as he thought his intellect was pretty correct. But there are cases where it could have gone the wrong way, like if Light didn't screw up in the end by letting Mikami do whatever he wants, then he would have just won. But once again, Near is not part of the intellectual superiority battle between L and Light or any of the other characters. It's all about winning the game. He isn't like L in that matter. There is some nice lore behind Near, like how his name, Nate River, is supposed to mean a natural flowing talent from L. Again, not being better. All this hate is mainly surrounding around people watching the last half of Death Note, and not reading the last half as they cut so much. So if you want to give that last half a chance, I recommend it through the manga.